What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another break on this Tuesday evening. Right now, I've got our 2025 Panini Score Football Hobby 4-box number 6 random teams. I'm going to go ahead and get this shared over to the group, get everybody tagged, and we will go ahead and get started. Kenneth having a hard time tagging. If you go by something else on Facebook, let me know when we get that tag added for you. All right, got all those tags in there. All right, I got a few folks in, so we're going to hop into our browser, get the names and teams random for everybody. Got the names here first. 32 entries. Jeremy on top, Kevin on the bottom. Going to roll the dice. Anything less than 4, we roll again. Got an 8, so we're good there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Steve Miller on top, Kelly Wright on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and get this reflected onto your screens here. There we go. Then we've got the teams here. Same 32 entries. Arizona Cardinals on top. Washington Commanders on the bottom. Once again, going to roll the dice. Anything less than 4, we roll again. Got a 6, so we're good there. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Miami Dolphins on top. Pittsburgh Steelers on the bottom. Go ahead and get this reflected onto your screens. Get that trade timer started for everybody. All right, 5 minutes on the clock starting now. While that trade timer's ticking, I'll go ahead and get these verification codes copied and pasted into our chat. Colts up for trade in the chat. And verification codes have been posted with just about 4 minutes left on the trade timer. All right, we're now at our halfway point. Just about 2.5 minutes left on the trade timer here. Got another trade in the chat. Looking to trade Philly for Green Bay. All right, less than 60 seconds left on the trade time. We're looking at 4 autos per box in here. Saw Anthony pulled someone a Trevor Lawrence auto yesterday. Was very jealous of that. That's my guy right there. All right, last 30 seconds here. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Seeing no trades, those are going to be everybody's teams. Robert answered there, so I know that trade did not occur. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. Let's see some heat. Empty box number 1 there. Got a hot rookies Trayvon Henderson here. Nice Mason Grant. And we've got a Shamar Stewart here, first 10. That one going to be 3 out of 10. Going over to the Bengals. Nice one there. We'll get that one magged up. That one going over to Adam Page. There you go, Adam. Nice little out of 10 rookie coming your way. Congrats on that. Then we've got a Audric Esme here, 236 out of 250 for the Denver Broncos. We got our first auto here, going to be Joe Morris for the Giants. There we go. Going over to Scott. There you go, Scott. Congrats on that. First auto of the break coming your way. Got a Drake May there. So weird to not see him as a rookie. Got a nice Ashton Gianti here on the rookie for the Raiders. Bo Nix on the emerged. And we've got an Anthony Richardson here for the Colts, 177 out of 250. All right, let me get this basement over. We'll hop into the second half of box number 1. Still looking for 3 more signatures. First, Travis Hunter, rookie there. And we have a Tyler Show, rookie auto right behind that. Going over to the Saints. Nice one there for New Orleans. Going over to Jeremy. There you go, Jeremy. We got another Travis Hunter behind that. 18 out of 100 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Really excited to see what he does as a Jaguars fan and a CU Buffs fan. Got Cam Ward. Had a card stuck behind it. Nice Cam Ward there on the draft as well for the Titans. And we have an intergalactic Josh Allen. One of the big chases in the set for the Bills. Gonna go ahead and get that one magged up. Nice one there for Buffalo and Kenneth. And we've got a Jaleel McLaughlin there, 30 out of 250 for the Denver Broncos. All right, 2 more packs. Still looking for a few autos. It does say on average, so I guess they're not guaranteed, but typically we do see 4. Got a Trey Harris rookie auto here. Going over to the Chargers. Nice one there for Los Angeles. That one going over to Adam Nagel. There you go, Adam. Congrats on that. We've got a Jonnu Smith here, 37 out of 50 on the gold for the Dolphins. And we've got an Andrew Makuba on the auto here. Going over to the Eagles. Nice little rookie there. That one going over to Ben. There you go, Ben. Congrats on that. Got a Teroida McMullen behind that. All right, let me get these base moved over. We'll hop into our next one here. Box number 2, looking for 4 more autos here. Empty box number 2. Michael Penix there. And another Travis Hunter for the Jaguars. Still looking for all of our autos from box number 2 here. Hoping for a big rookie auto or one of those dual autos. We got a J. Michael Sturdivant auto here. This is for the NIL spot. Those will be at random at the end as a spot. Nice one there for whoever gets the NIL. We got a Rome Odunze here for the Bears, 136 out of 250. We got another NIL auto here. This one to be a Drew Alar. Player for Penn State. Got an Isaac Garando here. Going over to the San Francisco 49ers on the auto. That one going over to Jeremy. There you go, Jeremy. Nice auto there for you. Got an Ashton Gianti here. All right, let me get this base moved over. We'll hop into the second half of box number 2 here. We got Josh Simmons here going over to the Chiefs. That one going to be a 48 out of 100. And we've got a Joe Milton III, 46 out of 50 auto here for the New England Patriots. Nice one there. Love the look of the golden score. That one going over to Kevin. There you go, Kevin. Congrats on that one. Joe Milton III out of 50. Another Cam Ward there for the Titans behind that. Got an A.J. Barner here for the Seahawks. 197 out of 250. Couple packs left here. Then we hop into box number 3. Another Travis Hunter and Cam Ward there. All right, last pack of box number 2 here. And we got a Rashid Shaheed auto here for the Saints. Nice one there going over to Jeremy. There you go, Jeremy. Another auto coming your way. Congrats on that. And we've got a Jalen Walker here for the Falcons. 17 out of 20 on the red zone rookie. Nice one there for Atlanta. Going over to Andrew Corsini. There you go, Andrew. Nice out of 20 rookie for you. Congrats on that. All right, let me get these base moved over. We'll hop into box number 3. Looking for 4 more autos here. Empty box there. Trey Hendrickson there, 86 out of 250 for the Bengals. Still looking for all of our autos from this third box. Got our first auto of this box here for the Bills. Going to be Landon Jackson on the rookie auto. Going over to Kenneth. There you go, Kenneth. Nice little auto there. Congrats on that. Got a 12 out of 35, Myles Garrett on the artist proof for the Browns. Nice one there. There we go. Congrats on that one going over to the Browns. And we've got a James Pierce Jr. for the Falcons here. 27 out of 50 on the goal. Get these base moved over here. Hop in the second half of box number 3. We got a Dante Moore here on the NIL auto. Nice Deebo Samuel here. 81 out of 250 for the Washington Commanders. First Shedeur Sanders sighting there. Interested to see what they do with Shedeur. We were talking in our studio today about whether or not we think he will be the starter. I think he will. Not only because he's not a terrible QB, but also I think he'll sell merch and jerseys, tickets. And I do think, as much as coaches will say they don't take that into account, I think you do have to take that into account at some point. But we shall see. They can't do that if he underperforms in the preseason. But I think if he's looking decent, he will be the starter. Pickett, yeah, that's the thing is like, if we're going simply on football, I could see Pickett or someone else starting, but I do think, like, as a CU Buffs fan, I saw, like, firsthand how much of, like, a personality Shedeur is. Nice Will Howard rookie auto there for the Steelers. So we'll see. I mean, he might come in a couple games. You never know. I mean, Drake May didn't start for a lot of the season. There we go. Nice one there for the Steelers. Going over to Kelly. There you go, Kelly. Congrats on that. Jervon Dexter Sr. there, 33 out of 250 for the Bears. I also think it depends on, like, what kind of plays the team wants to run. Because if he doesn't fit in that system, then obviously you don't want to start him either. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot up in the air, but that's why I love getting ready for preseason and football season, is seeing where all these rookies end up. Because sometimes the rookies you think are going to be the biggest aren't, and there's a few surprise. I mean, look at Brock Purdy, right? Took him a couple years, but nobody thought he would be as big as he is. Last pack of box number 3 here. This is Trevor Lawrence is like my favorite player. That's what really got me into football, but I feel like this is kind of his determining year, whether or not he can succeed. So I really hope Shador helps with that. Really nice Torrey Horton here for the Seahawks. Former CSU Rams guy there. Oh, that's really awesome, Kevin. Have fun. Nice Seahawks there. Going over to Andrew Corsini. There you go, Andrew. Congrats on that one. I would love to go to a camp just to check it out once. Although, as a Jaguars fan, I don't know if I'm yet willing to travel for it. I wouldn't mind checking out a Broncos one here, though. All right, let me crack open some more top loaders, get this base moved over. We'll hop into our last box. I just live for football season in general. That's what I always love to say in these breaks, is like, there's a lot of teams I don't root for, but I love watching any team play. All right, here we go. Last box. I'm going to tilt this camera just slightly. There we go. Empty box there. Good luck, everybody. There we go. We've got a 2 out of 6 Tyrann Mathieu there for the Saints. Going to get that one magged up. That one, good over to Jeremy. There you go, Jeremy. Nice little low-numbered parallel for you. Congrats on that. Get this base moved over real quick. Got Anthony Richardson, 26 out of 250 there for the Colts. Got a DeAndre Swift auto there for the Bears. Going over to a Henry. Congrats on that one, Henry. James Cook, 192 out of 250 for the Bills. All right, let me get these base moved over. We'll hop into our last stack of packs here. Got another NIL auto here. This is going to be Dylan Raiola. All right, 3 packs remain here. We hop into our recap random, that NIL spot for everybody. And we got another Showtime. Or not another Showtime, but another case hit. And it is also Josh Allen. How about that odds? Kenneth, there you go. You got the Showtime and the Intergalactic Josh Allen in the same break. Congrats on that one. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen. Where the same player got both of the inserts. Got a Keon Coleman here. That one going to be 45 out of 250 for the Bills. Got a Jalen Noel auto here for the Texans. Nice one there for Houston. Going over to Jeremy. Got a Raekwon Smith here for the Raven. 39 out of 50. All right, last pack here. Good luck, everybody. And we've got a Ken Houston auto for the Oilers, which will go to the Titans. So that is the team that the Oilers became. So that one going over to Craig. There you go, Craig. Congrats on that. All right, let me get these base moved over, get a couple things situated. We'll hop into our recap. I'm going to start that recap by randoming the NIL spot for everybody. You get this random setup for the NIL. All right, here is the NIL spot in the same order as the names appear on your screen currently, with Steve Miller on top, Kelly on the bottom. Going to roll the dice. Anything less than 4, we roll again, and then whichever name is on top will get that NIL. Good luck. Got a 6, so we're good there. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Henry on top, getting that NIL spot. Congrats on that one, Henry. You get this verification code copied and pasted into our chats, and then we will get things cooking. Here we go. Ken Houston auto going over to the Titans. Raekwon Smith for the Ravens out of 50. Jalen Noel auto going over to the Texans. Got Dylan Raiola going over to that NIL spot and just got received by a Harry. DeAndre Swift going over to the Bears. Torrey Horton on the auto going over to the Seahawks. Will Howard on the auto going over to the Steelers. Dante Moore auto going over to the NIL spot. James Pierce Jr. for the Falcons out of 50. Myles Garrett for the Browns out of 35. Landon Jackson on the auto there for the Bills. Jalen Walker out of 20 for the Falcons. Rashid Shaheed going over to the Saints on the auto. Joe Milton III out of 50 going over to the Patriots on the auto. Isaac Garando on the auto going over to the 49ers. Drew Alar on the NIL auto. J. Michael Sturdivant also going over to the NIL spot on the auto. Andrew Makuba there for the Eagles on the auto. Jonnu Smith there, 37 out of 50 for the Dolphins. Trey Harris for the Chargers on the auto. Tyler Show on the auto for the Saints. And Joe Morris for the Giants on the auto. We've got our mags here. Tyrann Mathieu, 2 out of 6 for the Saints. Shamar Stewart for the Bengals. That one going to be 3 out of 10. Josh Allen on the Intergalactic for the Bills. And like seeing double, we've got Josh Allen on the Showtime for the Bills. Congrats on those. All right, that's going to do it for this break. Thank you, everybody, for hopping on with me. Hope you have a wonderful